Well, Chile's President Sebastian Pinera has lifted a state of emergency and replaced his cabinet. Yet he has failed to end protests against his government's policies. Many Chileans blame them for their economic hardships. Now, the demonstrations began 2 weeks ago over hikes in public transport fares. The government scrapped those increases, but that's done little to improve conditions. Chile still has the worst income inequality in the world. And the government's promising to raise the minimum wage and pensions, but as Yasmin Zabawi reports, it might be too little too late for Pinera.
In some areas, Santiago still looks like a war zone. Chilean security forces have been out in full force for 10 days, sometimes clashing violently with protesters. At least 20 people have died. The protesters want to oust billionaire President Sebastian Pinera, and they are not happy with his proposals. There is no organized entity leading the demonstrations, and that means there is no specific list of demands. There is just the desire for drastic change.
I feel that today there was an awakening of our people, which I believe was comparable to the one lived at the moment of the plebiscite. The force of the people that was clearly expressed in the streets. What's now left is the only possible thing is a social pact to have a plebiscite and a constituent assembly. The Chilean people today want a new constitution, and that's why we must fight.
The protests have mostly been peaceful, including this gathering of cyclists for what they call a peace ride.
Sincerely, we want change to be made, not only in words, but a radical change of the assembly that is established well.
The state of emergency may have been lifted, but the protests are not letting up, even after a reshuffling of the cabinet.
Chile is not the same as the one we had a couple of weeks ago. Chile changed, and the government also has to change to face these new challenges and these new times.
The question now is whether President Pinera can survive them. Yasmin Al-Sabawi, TRT World.